Hello and welcome to Institute for Governance, Policies and Politics panel discussion, Decoding Lok Sabha Verdict 2024. The result of 2024 Lok Sabha election seemed to have brought back the trend of coalition government. For many, the results were on expected line. For others, they came as a shock. True cracks had appeared in the aura of invincibility that surrounded the ruling party, but the dominant discourse did not take the challenges as strongly, and as late as the exit polls, the 400 par goal seemed attainable. To decode the election results and to understand the surprises that were thrown in the way of political analysts, today we are joined by two of India's prominent journalists, Ms. Sheela Bhatt, senior journalist, who we had the good fortune of hosting in our previous discussion as well, and Sobhana Nair, deputy editor, The Hindu. I'm Ms.Heena Goswami, editorial consultant with IGPP, and I'll be moderating today's discussion. Sheela ma'am, how have the results caught you? Surprised, expected, unexpected, or they were probably on the expected lines? I remember in our last conversation that we had, you said that, while the Modi's core voters were intact, there were the swing voters were more silent and observant. But did you expect the swing voters to swing as much?
No, I think I was expecting BJP around definitely get 272, not very high. I was not believing exit polls, but I must say that compared to my expectation, BJP is less by some 40 seats, 35 to 40 seats minimum. Because I had reviewed my own assessment of 290 seats for BJP to 276. But still, I think I overrated BJP, and mainly because of I never thought that the list will go whole hog and extreme OBC, Ati Pichhda will also in UP. Both one, Ati Pichhda did not vote BJP as they did in 2014 and 2019, and other side, Samajwadi Party and Congress was successful with their Muslim and Yadav base intact to get an additional vote of Maya. BSP's transfer of votes to BJP was less than it was more to the Mahayuti of Samajwadi Party and Congress. So that is my first thing. And second, I think this election, this result I read like this, that it is more for intangible things than the tangible, what people are saying that BJP below 250, below 250. I think more that is definitely a big, massive jolt to Narendra Modi standing also in BJP. But more than that intangible thing is this, that people did not like so many things of what was happening in 10 years of Modi government. And indirectly, even some BJP supporters and BJP voters have also spoken. That is very visible in the final verdict. It is not reflecting very much in the vote share, but their dissatisfaction, their problem with the way government was functioning is visible. So intangible, something which can't prove, but it is very clear that it is a very strong and a firm message to Narendra Modi.
Shobna, in the early days of election itself, you had pointed out that there was a disenchantment with the ruling party amongst the voters in UP due to unemployment and inflation. Has the Hindu heartland moved beyond the Hindutva project? Has it been surprising to you?
As far as numbers are concerned, I can't, I don't have the wherewithal of talking about how much numbers I expected, but I can speak about what I saw on the ground and what I felt and talk about the broader trend. Now, what I saw in Uttar Pradesh, especially the eastern Uttar Pradesh, was definitely a disenchantment with the government. And there were, as Sheela ji spoke about, many intangibles. Yes, there were many intangibles, but there were many tangible issues also. The two biggest issues that I believe defined this election was inflation and unemployment. And the results that we see today, I believe, is an accumulation of grievances that probably can be traced back to November 2016 when demonetization came, and it had a clear impact on small and medium industries. There was a lot of job losses at that point. But the fact that there was a sentimental connect with the BJP, it did not suffer electoral defeats in the immediate aftermath. But when this coupled with the pandemic, the economic losses and the job losses just multiplied. And it is ultimately, as world over, it is a known phenomena that economic issues have a very long gestation period, and they will start reflecting electorally much later. And I believe that is what the results of June 4th results is a reflection of that. Now, as far as the Hindutva project that you're saying, I don't think there is a complete disenchantment on that. But yes, Ram Temple was not an issue that cut ice with the people, also because they believe in collective ownership of Ram Mandir. They believe that they are equal stakeholders in this exercise, because across the villages, there were people who, despite their very small incomes, had contributed to the project in their own small way.
Sheela ma'am, you mentioned that there are intangible factors that led to the results. There's one intangible factor that I want to bring up and talk about. Just before the election, the general election, when the legislative assembly elections were held in 5 states, we saw that the BJP changed chief minister who were otherwise doing well in Madhya Pradesh. Shivraj Singh Chauhan won by a huge margin. In Rajasthan, there was a shift in leadership. In UP, while there has not been a shift in leadership, but there have been continuous reports of tension between the central and state leadership. Do you think this project of BJP's central leadership of overhauling the second rung leadership, has it not gone down very well with the public? Because in Rajasthan, we see there has been a loss that was unexpected. In UP, there has been severe loss to BJP. Do you think, not giving enough position, not giving enough say to second rung leadership has cost BJP dearly in this election?
So this election is a national election. So I would like to say that they had just come in, the new Bhajanlal and other Yadav in Madhya Pradesh and all. So they are still new, and I think people do take time to judge them. So I don't think that's in a national election. There were many more issues, and first of all, for BJP's core voter, Narendra Modi was in a center point. So this election was all about Modi, and Modi's weaknesses, Modi's strengths, and Modi's election campaign. So we should not divert that point, one. And secondly, I definitely think Samajwadi Party and Rahul Gandhi had a better election campaign, I would say, at many points of time, most point of time, and particularly in social media, they scored over BJP. This is a very important point that gave them an edge on the ground also. So I feel we should understand that. I don't think regional leadership and that comes, it's an internal issue of BJP, and BJP will have to deal with it. But this election was a very interesting election. It was a serious election. It took up serious issue. What one set of people in India wants India to be, and another set of people of India what India wants to be. And Modi represents one side, and other people represent other side. And when I was calling everybody in major states, I could see. That's why first for almost 1 month, I was thinking on the basis of my extensive talk all over India that BJP neither 400 par nor 300 par, but 300 par, but definitely 293. But then when I saw this particular issue, which I reported, and it's already printed, that article where I said that I'm in a Pinan village of Rajasthan, Alwar, and nobody is going to vote for BJP, and it's a Dalit village, and the people say, "वो किताब बदलने वाले." Kitab is Samida. So since then, I was thinking that BJP is on the edge and on the borderline case. But this happened. But I think it's all about basically the broad picture. कैसा भारत चाहिए आपको, उसी पे वोट हुआ है, और वो इसको we have to go by that.
For the next questions, I open the floor to both of you. So please give your input.
Yes.
With the election results, one feels that nobody was caught as unaware of the coming result as the BJP leaders themselves. Do you think their echo chambers have gone way too far and there was a disconnect with the ground realities, and that's why they kept emphasizing on the Ram Mandir construction or even the new parliament building construction without taking up the issues that really matter to the people? And or otherwise, do you think that this doubling down on the Hindu Muslim rhetoric that happened in the later phase of the election, do you think that it was an ear because of ear to the ground that the caste politics is taking over the Hindutva project, and that's why Prime Minister Modi in his rallies emphasized upon the unity of Hindus and double down on this rhetoric? Why have the echo chambers gone too far for BJP leadership?
See, I'll tell you, I don't cover BJP, but I'll tell you the anecdotal evidence that I have from whatever little I saw in Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, and other places. There was this constant refrain among the voters that the MPs who have been elected in the last two elections in the name of Prime Minister Narendra Modi have not have turned their back at us. They have not returned to the constituencies. They've not spoken to us. We've not seen them. They've not attending any of our. They're not here to address any of our local problems, and this would not have been an issue had brand Modi been intact, because in the last two elections we saw it did not matter. The candidate space did not matter because everyone was voting for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And this is a very interesting thing, because in this election he went out of his way to say that I am the candidate in each of the seats. I'm on the ballot. I mean, so far it was us who were saying this, but in this election he went ahead and said that it is the Lotus. Your candidate is Lotus and your candidate is Narendra Modi. It is not XYZ. But the voters this time were not really convinced by this rhetoric, and they spoke out against the. There was a clear disconnect, and I will recall a very small episode here, just to prove. In Rajasthan, during the recent assembly elections, Rajavardhan Rathore, who's Lok Sabha MP and former minister, he was asked to contest the assembly elections. When he went to contest the assembly elections, there was a huge anger with the leadership for replacing the sitting candidate with him. And the sitting candidate also created a lot of hassles for him. There was protests, there were tomatoes thrown on him, he was shown black flags and stuff. And when I was asking somebody in Mr. Rathore's team after his victory, how he managed to win despite the fact that there was so much anger against him, his response was that all this was orchestrated by the former BJP MLA, and who had been going around telling people whenever they approached him for some help that you voted for Modi, so why are you coming and asking me for help? So this particular issue, it has been bogging down the BJP a lot, because in the last two elections they canvassed vote on Modi ji's name and made their own candidates absolutely irrelevant.
Sheela ma'am.
So see, in politics, where most difficult thing are two processes. One is selection of candidate, very, very difficult process for any party, left party, Congress, BJP, for everybody. Smartness, brilliance, political acumen lies in that. Astuteness, everything. Is selection of candidate. किसको टिकट दे रहे हो? And second is very important for all of us is, and including parties, including politicians and everybody, is for the country is, how do you analyze somebody's party's defeat and party's victory? So that takes time, and it's a huge task and a very serious task. Those who learn the right lesson and right clues from the defeat or a victory, they go ahead in life in the short term. So even in a long term. So I'm just saying that this election, in this election, everybody, if you remember, why is Prime Minister talking so aggressively? Lots of people were asking within BJP also. Of course, Rahul Gandhi and so Priyanka, Samajwadi, TMC, everybody were talking about it, mentioned Prime Minister. And also, if you take a transcript of all PM's interview and Amit Shah's interview, all of us have noticed, many of us, that they were talking about giving promise, taking vows that we will protect reservation through constitution, which is it's a constitutional guarantee. So as you were asking me, were they surprised? So first of all, they were surprised after the first phase election, and they could see, they read reports, and they must have gathered information from intelligence sources also, that this idea, this rumor that if BJP will get 400, they will change the constitution because they need 2/3 majority, and then they will tweak with reservation. So hamara reservation chala jayega. This one line created a fear. And of course, those who were standing against BJP, they took it to everybody's home, all voters' home, Dalits and tribals and Ati Pichda, really it percolated too much. And that's why I'm saying that PM and Amit Shah kept saying about it, countering it. So I think they were not, I think they were expecting something wrong after first phase. Otherwise, why would PM take up with so much aggressions this particular issue? Because there is not a single interview of Prime Minister or Amit Shah where this issue is not mentioned. They did everything in their command to kill this rumor and counter this rumor. They could not. And somehow Dalits and in particularly in Eastern UP, Pasi, Jataus, they decided to desert BJP. So I think there is some issue, some issue was there on their table. I don't know whether they were so surprised as we are, but I think they had some clue that something is going wrong about this Dalits, tribals, and but let me tell you one more interesting thing, and that is that this election has created many Indias, but particularly for BJP, because when we talk of BJP's disgraceful position right now, it is all about West Bengal, Maharashtra, and UP. Whatever we say, it will not apply pan-India. Because in Orissa, they have done superb, and from 1% to in double digit in Andhra Pradesh. And in Gujarat also, but one seat has gone. And I think in other 4 states, they have a full mark. So it's very difficult to say everything that whatever we say is not pan-India. Majorly, these 3 states, BJP has suffered heavily, and it will be very difficult for them to recover from this.
Bihar has, since we cannot, like, it would not be fair to talk of issues on a pan-India level. To take up Bihar, it has shown a surprising trend. Nitish Kumar was much abused nationwide
Yes.
for repeatedly changing parties, and the national narrative was that, his political fortune is on a decline now. But the public in Bihar has continued to posit faith in his party JDU, and Nitish Kumar has now ultimately emerged as the kingmaker. how hopeful are you both with Nitish Kumar to perform his coalition dharma, or do you think the coalition government there might be some instability, some hard compromises that BJP might have to make? Sheela ma'am?
So I think first of all, I think we should all accept that this election was lot about caste, and somehow in Bihar, this surprising result that JDU has got such a good marks is because of correct caste combination. Their candidates caste and Nitish's push in OBC and all that worked. So this, wherever BJP and other parties have put the bad candidates, the majorly candidate selection, BJP has suffered hugely. But I would say that in here, because of this election, unfortunately, in the 21st century's 24th year, it was a Jativadi election. So I think, no, we should not take, we should take this election with a little bit of sadness that everybody is still voting on the basis of if not everybody, large part of India is voting on basis of their caste identity, community identity. So that is my explanation of Bihar, that it's a caste-based election. And secondly, I think I had a fortunate time when I was highly hyperactive as a reporter and journalist. It was a coalition era and not this Modi's time. So I have reported 2004 to 2014 without taking any single break for 10 years, continuous work. And I have seen coalition is not a strange entity, strange animal for us. It's not an unknown thing for us in India. And rather, if you remember, Ram Guha had written before election that he would prefer BJP with a less majority. Why? Because that is the nature of India. In India, let us take a plural alliance and work for entire India. So I think coalition to run a coalition will not be a bigger problem for Narendra Modi, but his problem will be twofold. One is now he has an aggressive opposition against him. So every day he will have to address or take note of what opposition is talking about. So today Rahul Gandhi is having a press conference. Every day he will have something to say. If he not, then Mamata and Stalin and everybody. So I think that is a very big new element will be there. Aggressive, alert, assertive opposition. And second, within the party also, he will have to share more power with not just RSS, but within the party also, and with an equal, he is first amongst equal. So Nitin Gadkari, Rajnath Singh, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, a lot of others, they will have to be taken into confidence and much more than what he did for 10 years. So there are two, and he will have to sort out that what all went wrong in this election campaign and otherwise. So it's a twofold. More than, I think coalition government can be run. And I have said before also that most important thing, people of India who are interested in and watching this current situation must remember that for 2-3 years, not even Rahul Gandhi, I would say, would like the election earlier than 2-3 years, because election is a very costly proposition.
So there are two aspects to your question. First is when you speak about Bihar, did RJD expect the tally that they got? The straightforward answer is no. On June 1st, when India Bloc partners met in Delhi at Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge's residence, Tejaswi Yadav was as upbeat as Akhilesh Yadav, and his and the hat was passed around, and everybody was asked to give their assessment of their party's performance in the various states that they came from. And Tejaswi Yadav at that meeting had claimed that the alliance will get close to 20 seats. And of course, today the alliance stands at 9. RJD has got only 4 seats, 3 seats with the 2 with the CPI-ML, and remaining with the Congress. Now, therefore, the question is, what went wrong for RJD and what went right for Nitish? At the beginning of the campaign, RJD, Tejasvi Yadav, again at a electoral platform, had said that he believes in, he had coined this term MY and BAAP. It was, so the attempt was that while I am a party of Muslims and Yadavs, RJD also intends to go beyond that core vote bank and to collect the other castes. Then taking this next step, the ticket selection, which everybody wrote a lot about, there were a lot of non-Yadav EDCs, women were given ticket, but it seems that their efforts fell short. Although their argument is that we've had an upward swing in several constituencies, we have come close to victory. And if you were to look at historical electoral data, they claim that the margins have reduced in most places, and their vote share is on upward swing, and they will be taking multiple steps ahead in this very direction. They've set the direction and they will be taking the step forward. So then the question is, what worked for Nitish? And here, there cannot be a straightforward answer, considering everyone had written his political obituary after his multiple turns and shifts, switches between one block to the other. But it seems that what we did not catch in time is that the extremely backward castes, a section that he himself had curated and sort of nurtured, are still with him. And largely the section is intact, and they continue to be loyal to Nitish Kumar, which is why Nitish Kumar managed to get more seats than the BJP in Bihar. Now, the third aspect to your question is, will or will not Nitish make another switch, giving us more to write and making things interesting for journalists and the government and keeping everybody on the toes? There can be no answer to this question. Only Nitish, and Nitish knows his own mind. We can only talk about, we can only look at him from the perspective of what he has done in the past, his statements in the past, his behavior with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. We can talk about the fact that in 2013, when Mr. Narendra Modi, as the Chief Minister of Gujarat, when he was decided as Prime Ministerial candidate of BJP, Nitish Kumar was one of the first to claim that he's not going to be part of the NDA, and he had fought that election alone. He has time and again shown his antipathy towards Mr. Modi's brand of BJP, not towards the BJP as such. He has done business with the BJP in the past, but he has done business with Vajpayee's BJP, and he was comfortable in Vajpayee's BJP, but he has shown his discomfort with Modi brand of BJP. And we have seen even today, JDU spokesperson K.C. Tyagi and National General Secretary, he has spoken out against Agniveer, and there are demands about UCC. He's not going to be an easy partner for sure. He will demand his pound of flesh. But there is another sort of variable here. Question is, for Nitish Kumar, even if he were to move alone with his 12 MPs to India Bloc, it's not as if India Bloc can form the government, right? And in India Bloc, he has several leaders that he'll need to do business with, while in the NDA, there is just Narendra Modi that he has to directly do business with. So therefore, the question is, I mean, of course, these are all conjectures. In case of Nitish Kumar, I have lost bets already in the past, so I'm not going to say anything on which way he will go.
Sheela ma'am, in the new coalition government, both TDP Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar are professedly secular, while BJP's core ideology continues to be Hindutva. Do you think that might be sort of counterintuitionary for these parties to come together, and will cracks in the Hindutva project appear because of now that BJP has to be cater to the needs of its coalition partners as well?
No, this issue matters for JDU and TDP. But I think, as I say again and again, election is done with. Now democratic parliamentary process is on. That also heavily depends on numbers. And as numbers are just numbers is with this NDA coalition. And as I said again and again, very important thing in the back of mind that थोड़े साल तो चला के देखना है. That is the most important line. They won't, so these kind of things will come up, but it will come at a much later stage. And who knows if this government takes a right lesson from their setback, then things can be better also. That on issue of secularism also they will need to rethink and introspect. And when you run the government, it's a huge government. It's a national government. So there are national issues, and there will be many, many more issues before this ideological issue comes up. Development issue, foreign affairs, defense, security, nuclear power, lot of issues at the national level. So as I say, let's see. Right now, the entire government, under leadership of Narendra Modi, will look for stability. Number one, very important, stability. Then they will look for a coordination where they don't have many bloomers and many public spat. Because as I say again and again, more than the NDA coalition, they have to now handle this opposition, and within the party, whatever the dissatisfaction and divide is visible right now, he will have to address that.
Now, to conclude
Okay.
this discussion,
Yeah.
I would like both of you to list out your major takeaways, both from how the campaign has panned out and the results that were announced.
The biggest takeaway was never take the voter for granted. Every election in India is deeply interesting, and I think this is the best thriller that there is to offer. But of course, this is just a personal takeaway, but largely this is the first election perhaps after 1952 where the Constitution of India took the center stage in the campaign. Second, we cannot, as Sheela ji had also said earlier, caste is a reality that we cannot turn a blind eye towards. Now, in the coming days, Nitish Kumar, who was part of in his last term in alliance with the RJD as a Mahagathbandhan chief minister, had committed himself for caste census. The question is that particular demand could very well make a comeback in the present government, where he is a key ally. The other thing, in the last 10 years, but more importantly, in the last 5 years, the center state relationships had become a more unitary relationship with more power centered in Delhi. And that is also one of the abiding themes of this election, because it is a reassertion that we are a federal setup, and it is a recommitment. The fact that we have a coalition government is a recommitment that the center state relationship and the balance will have to be maintained.
Heena, I feel my biggest takeaway is this, that how wonderfully well and rather astonishingly, in a very, very interesting manner, fascinating manner, Indian public gives their verdict in such a complicated manner that today बीजेपी को हराया नहीं पर झुकाया. तो वो कैसे कर दिया? Because any sane person would understand that right now the verdict is mandate is not for Rahul Gandhi to become prime minister or anybody in the India alliance. So mandate उनको पूरा दिया नहीं, पर ये बाजू बीजेपी को झुका भी दिया. सो कैसे करते हैं हमारे देश के लोग, बहुत अच्छे लोग हैं हम.
That is true. And yes, the BJP को like किसी और को नहीं जिताया, but BJP leaders have झुका दिया उनको. They have to accept this fact that they have
और
to
वो बैलेट बैग से कैसे हो गया है?
very delicate.